Hello again everybody, this is Amorgin and you're very welcome back to another episode of Star Trek Fleet Command. So another big day on the Founders server, guys. A major player, a heavy hitter has been caught. ROG are draining him to prevent his resources getting stolen, and it's unknown as to whether this guy has quit or whether he's going to come back or what the story is. So I've caught this bit of footage, guys. I want you all to sit back and enjoy it. I said before that his day is coming to the lag chuck Skywalker, so to the law on now, it's here now, and ROG are draining him with the assistance of his buddies in Sith. So we're going to sit back, we're going to see how this transpires, guys, and I hope you all enjoy this bit of footage.
The dust. Another one bites the dust.
So we can see many of the ROG are out. Hiltz is out, of course. There's Lost Pinky, Suzaku. We can see Psychosis is here, and Phil, Char, of course, and a couple of the Sith, although Shah and Monkey are bubbled up. So this has been going on for a little while, guys. Not sure exactly how long. Doubt there's any space around this planet. Yep, she's full. So I might be able to jump in nearby, perhaps. Let's see how this one looks. That's full as well. You see a bunch of the usual suspects there as well. And we spotted D-Train there. So we'll pop over here. Okay. And we'll take a wee look at what's going on. The three guys are getting hit by railtas. Lost Pinky's out there throwing his railtas at the guys' bases, as well as Pterodon there from Sith. These miners, decent strength. 300k is not a bad miner there. Some of these guys will be sitting on tiered up horizons. Some of them will be using faction miners like the Covort and the Antares. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if the sight of hom tags in the vicinity were to encourage an attack on my base. We'll see if that happens. So Sparksimus is out there in what looks like an envoy. I doubt that'll be doing much against a base that's level 35. These ROG guys would be keen to make sure that hom at least don't benefit from Sky's resources. We've seen this happen a couple of times, guys. Anybody who's followed the other videos knows exactly what's going on here. That's a 550k miner there almost. A lot of talk of faction ships lately, guys, and I'm doing my own series on faction ships, but one of the lesser talked about faction ships are these miners. Most of you guys that have hit the mid-20s now at this stage, if you haven't pumped a load of money into this game already, most of you guys will be looking at the ECS Horizon I've done a video on that way back if you want to look at that. But these faction miners are another thing altogether. They can go to serious strength and have serious cargo holds on them. We'll see if we can get away with this. It's a bit cheeky. That Centurion's moving slow ass. Look at this. So the guys are on the ball. That Intrepid, what's that? 800k. Now, arguably, I could have done a wee bit of damage to that. I suppose I could lure that out a wee bit and waste a little bit of my own resources just to take some of Pterodon's hull of his Intrepid if I put the right officer combination on. But I'm afraid as well of losing a wee bit of decent footage here. Mighty Mouse is out in a Burrell there as well. What's that at? That's nearly 1 million. So it was worth a shot. I'd need to be in close here, like you making me Sith, to get away with that really. Trying to come from another planet, it's not really gonna do much. Now there's a Pterodon coming in and hitting my base with one of his ships there. Take a look at what happened just. I was lost Pinky actually. Just a real that. I'd preferred that Intrepid of Pterodon's had done that, because I would have taken a lot more of his resources off him in terms of repair costs than it would be for that real that. So an armada of mining ships coming in on this base. Let's see what he's at, see how fast these guys are taking him down. So still at 200 million titanium there, guys. So time to change to the Realtus for a laugh. And throw these out, have a bit of crack with some of these lads. And again, I'm just a bit wary of missing stuff here, but there doesn't seem to be too much action in the sense of other players coming into this space. Rog have this space cordoned off with a few ships, like you see Char's up there with that Intrepid, as we've seen with the Sith and Rog there. There's a few more of the guys there. We see GT's Burrell, and these ships are out to stop that kind of activity, but we'll throw out a few Realtors for a laugh anyway. Try and catch one of these miners that's going a bit of a distance. See if there's any going my direction. Okay, we'll hit Pterodon for a laugh. There's Sai moving in. And who else is here? Silverfall. We'll throw. Oh, Silverfall doesn't have tags, so we leave him alone. There's Hiltz. Okay, let's clear this one up. Get that out of the way. Okay, let's throw one of these ships down at Hilts.
Can I touch you? Can I touch you? And do the things that lovers do.
Now, who else is about? Pterodon's dropped his shield. Now, so clearly, the presence of Pterodon there attacking he's clearly, this is clearly Sith and Rog working together again. Pterodon certainly isn't trained to defend Skywalker, so you guys make up your own minds with what you can see before your eyes here. A lot of claims. Anybody watching the series on Founder Server Politics will be aware that Rog and Sith are vehement and adamant that Sith and Rog, they're not that closely connected, that Sith are not the Black Ops, and some people have challenged the evidence that they've got, thinking that it was some screenshot of global chat. That's not what I'm going on at all. I'm going on other information that was screenshotted on Discord that clearly shows that when Rog were a 4 alliance outfit, one of those alliances, Rog B, I think it was, I'd need to go and check, where it's clearly being stated that Rog B were being turned into the Sith, and so that Rog could detach and have plausible deniability and make out like they're not guilty of anything, maintain a ceasefire, whilst turning one of their tentacles, one of their arms, Rog B, into the Sith, and allowing them to go out and attack their enemies, while Rog claimed all to be innocent. Rog are far from innocent here, and the Sith have been out doing their dirty work, and I appreciate Iron Monkey's comments to me, a few direct messages with Iron Monkey. I've always got on alright with Iron Monkey, but either Iron Monkey's in the dark and doesn't know about this, which I doubt very much, because he was clearly in that conversation that I'm talking about. Or there's people here who's a wee bit delusional or in denial about the facts. Very clearly, another episode of Sith and Rog working together, draining one of their own, which is a bit hypocritical at times, guys, because I've seen a lot of nasty comments about when Hom done this. Hom attacked one of their own one time to prevent Rog from getting... Actually wasn't Rog, actually, stand corrected there in that it was Pearly. Pearly was raiding one of our bases. Go back and check the videos, and we drained our own man to stop Pearly from getting all of the resources. This is Rog doing the same thing with Sky. The guys will be fully aware here though that I'm filming. They've hit my base there and can see my ships. So be fully aware that I'm filming, fully aware that I'm probably commentating here now on this raid. And this is Zaku's after tossing his Bortus at my base. Nearly destroyed it.
Going gets tough. Tough get going. When the going gets rough.
We'll repair this again and we will get it done really quickly. You can see there, use a bit of latinum, get that dilithium, speed it up, get it out of the way and change that to a realty as well. I suppose at times like this I appreciate having more than one realty. I was given out that I was given 7 of them instead of my Antarias. I should have a Federation faction miner from before the merge, but I'm sick crying about how hard done by I was with that, so I just give up on it. My ECS Horizon does the business now anyway. But I got 7 realties as part of the compensation for getting all of my stuff reset. So times like this is where maybe not 7 of them, but 3 or 4 reeled is handy. And I mostly use them just to level them up during the officer events, sorry, the ship events. Since Zaku was a bit slow with his Bortus there, he should have taken out that Realta. And there's an example, guys, of how you'd slow somebody down. If I wanted to pop a shield there, for example, that would have given me just enough time to pop a shield to prevent him from hitting me. But it's all fun. I'm not losing anything significant there. So we'll crack on here. Have a bit of fun with this. Rog will probably either laughing or upset at the fact that I'm throwing my ships out here, but liven the thing up a wee bit. And there's Billy getting stuck into the action. And Billy comes out of that on top, as Billy usually does. Billy's the cool dude.
I'm gonna make you stand and deliver, then give me love in the old-fashioned way.
Would have been nicer to get closer in on this. I could have created a little bit more mischief. Let's go down here for a laugh and hit Char's Intrepid. Nice looking Intrepid, 850k almost. And we'll send another one of these at Pterodon's base. We'll slow him down again and see if Billy wants to get out and grab him. No, that didn't work out as planned for some reason. And Billy's coming in with the Saladin and the Centurion. It livens things up a wee bit, guys. When there's a bit of action around, it can get very tedious when there's no resistance when you're draining these bases. We've done it a few times. You see where that rail is flying there behind that, just a little bit too late. Got him there before he got to Billy's base. Send this in. I say he's getting something out of that, I think. We try and intercept one of these miners and slow them down as they're exiting. Too slow for hits. And Char. There's some real wars there, guys. Real high level stuff. And we'll give a Screamer a wee tap back. It's exactly who's coming after the base. Coming after the base with his miner. There's not an awful lot to take there, lad. Swap this to the old Bortus. Quick change to the Saladin, seeing that he's coming in with a warship, a battleship. Slowed him down. That gave me enough time to change that. You see how that fared against his Bortus. A lot more damage than he probably would have expected with those Realtas. And so it can be quite a melee, guys, as you can tell. These high level raids, and once again, people who have been raiding each other for the last 2 years, nearly, certainly most of these people flat out at each other for a year at least. And still a fair bit of resources to go, like 500 million dilithium still in that base. 130 million tray. So it's going to be a while yet before Sky is emptied. And this is cannibalizing at its best. Like I said, this was ROG B or whatever that was formed into Sith. Leaders of ROG arranged it that way on Discord, and just because the tags are different, Skywalker's one of their own, cannibalizing them to prevent other predators like Hom from moving in. There's fair bet that other alliances stay clear of this here, because ROG aren't to be messed with. They're a powerful outfit. And even though I'm accused of coming out with propaganda, I've seen an awful lot of propaganda on behalf of ROG. They're very good at it. Some slightly miffed that we've outdone them because we have 2 YouTubers. One from Sword, Econ, and myself. Former enemies, but now friends. So accuse us of propaganda if you like. I've tried my level best to be fair and to show both sides. I've offered to join ROG and show their, like that's a couple of months ago now. At this stage, I haven't even got the decency of a response to that. So that's not going to happen now at this stage. Might join in another few alliances for a crack at some point, do the rounds, go walkabout, but doesn't look like it'll be happening with ROG anytime soon. And Nose was knocked out of joint because the propaganda wars lost, because Rog have lost the propaganda war a while back now at this stage, because there's no lying with what's going on the camera. I've shown it a number of times and can claim what you want. I'm keeping my powder dry in terms of the screenshots from Discord I mentioned. We'll use them if we ever need to, but I'll keep my sources private, of course. And as you can imagine, I've been inundated with a lot of messages since I've done a couple of recent videos. People showing me the abuse that they've been taking, and from all sides, not just one side. So among all of those direct messages that I've been getting, I've seen some very, very interesting stuff on the fuckery, as it's been talked about. The fuckery that guys like Iron Monkey here would have said that I'm not privy to. I've been made privy to some of it now. Certainly not at all. I'm sure there's a lot of other stuff. None of it surprises me, none of it's shocking. But it shows the lengths that people are going to try to win the propaganda war, and attacking the likes of myself and others who are showing off this kind of stuff and making claims that Rog and Sith are allied. This is cannibalizing one of your own. And there's a bit of hypocrisy, like I say, because over the months we in Hum have received an awful lot of criticism for cannibalizing our own members and how bad we are for doing this and all of that there. Well, it was Rog criticizing us a lot of the time, so here you are adopting the same tactics, guys. It's a bit hypocritical to criticize and then do the same thing yourselves. Now granted, not everybody in Rog would have said that. There have been one or two mouthpieces. But yeah, this doesn't look good for Sky. He could be taking a break from the game, he could be quitting the game. There's a chance he might have been banned from the game. He wasn't slow to open his mouth and come out with nonsense and crap and abuse to people himself. You walk a fine line if you're going to troll people. But I suppose this is the nature of it. This is what it happens when you're out in the wild. You're going to become food for friends and enemies alike if you take the risk and it doesn't work out. I'm pretty sure the underhanded tactics that goes on both sides here, guys. I'm pretty sure nobody's entirely innocent here. But those who step over the line to any significant extent need to take their medicine afterwards. Like I said before, some people try to level criticisms at individuals who try to play a relatively peaceful game, not annoy anybody, but they get hit and they get raided and they get trolled just because they're wearing HOM tags, for example. So it's a case of an attitude by many of, if one's guilty, all is guilty. But I would disagree with that. I don't mind taking the consequences of my alliance and all of that, and standing shoulder to shoulder with them, because they're a great bunch of lads and lassies. But we take responsibility for our own actions, guys, individually. If we decide to take a certain stand, we'll take the consequences of that, as I will myself. I stick my head up over the parapet here, I put myself in the firing line a lot of the time. A bit of action going on up here. So I'm fully prepared to take the consequences of any statements that I make, or any actions that I take that's gonna bear any consequence on my gameplay or what have you. So it's an interesting one. It's a saga that's nowhere near over yet. And despite all the shenanigans with Sky, it's sad to see this happen because he's one of the heavy hitters of the server. He's a personality. He has feelings like anybody else. And no matter his behaviour, it's always nice to try to let a player redeem themselves and wind the neck in. And in fairness, in recent times he's been acting cool enough. I haven't got that much harassment from him myself. So it's sad when this happens. Hopefully Sky can get sorted out. Hopefully he's not banned permanently. But this doesn't bode well for him. And it's a big enough day on our server, guys, because Sky was a big character, big personality, wasn't afraid to let you know what he thought, wasn't afraid to weigh in on arguments whether his opinion was wanted or not. And irrespective of any ill feeling he may have had toward me, I never held any real ill feeling towards him. Had a bit of fun with him at times, possibly wound him up once or twice, elicit a reaction out of him. Nobody ever wants to see players getting forced out of the game in any kind of nasty way. So let's hope all of that gets resolved amicably enough, and that this can be just another episode like Lieutenant Smash's raid or Phil's raid or any of that, although Lieutenant Smash is an exception because he was quitting at the time. But there's been a few big raids on this server. Everybody's day is coming here. Those people sitting on big resources like Char there, look at that, like Char's day is coming. Someday it's gonna happen. May not be today or tomorrow, but it's coming. Like, same with some of these other guys. Like there's Suzaku at level 29, very tasty target altogether. For level 29 significant resources, they're 1.1 billion titanium. Suzaku's day is coming too. The guy's got Kaz here recently. He's another one that suffered a draining like this. I've been drained myself, but not when sitting on huge resources like this. We're talking about hundreds of millions, billions in some cases. So I'm going to take a very brief break and come back at this in a few moments, guys. So guys, I've just noticed this message from Skywalker. I actually haven't read it. We're going to go through it. This seems to have happened in advance of Sky being drained here. So the game has reached a level of I presume that's cheating and very low behaviour that I'm done as well. So presumably somebody else has said that they're done. As everyone knows, a week ago we got a ban because somebody weaponized a comment and twisted to claim that he got his healthy conditions insulted. Right, okay. I didn't complain to Scopely because deep my conscience knew that even without intention I should be more careful. Okay, so fair enough, Sky, you acknowledge that you need to take the consequences and not step over the line. Fair enough, avoid this kind of behaviour. Good man, but we all know as well that others players using this that as a game function to get benefits. Well, I blocked half of our server to not get any contact to stop this. And I said, okay, well that's what the block function is for. Now it just turns out that I've been reported again and for the same issue with other people, another people's chat, and got banned again. So if that is the way that Hum and Sword want to win, going and taking whatever it takes, even playing dirty, okay, you can have it. I'm quitting and enough of this crap. I'm better than this. Okay, fair enough. You're blaming Hum and Sword there. It's a bit petty there. You want to come up with the evidence. I can understand from your point of view, Sky, that you want to blame Hum. I certainly haven't been stepping over the line and targeting anybody unnecessarily or any of that kind of stuff. So you're lumping me in, my alliance in, with this claim that you're a victim of Hum and Sword. And remember Sith and Skywalker here, their express intention was to destroy Hum and Sword. So now that he's throwing the bottle out of the pram and he's quitting, I don't think he should quit. You know, I'd like to see him come back. He can be entertaining at times. He's a high level long term player. Hopefully this is only a wee tantrum, but he's getting drained, so it doesn't look like it. It looks like he's done. It's a pity. but maybe if you weren't acting like such a child, blaming Hum in its entirety, or Sword for that matter, maybe I don't speak for Sword, maybe you wouldn't have so many people complaining about you. Maybe if you thought before you took the action instead of afterwards, like we see here, maybe you wouldn't have got yourself into so much hot water. I hope you reconsider and come back, but it's going to be very hard for you to come back, Sky, from that draining that ROG are giving you. So your friends are cannibalizing you, and you've thrown the bottle out of the pram and had enough. So the server will move on without you. We've had our issues with other players before, with Scar and different ones there, and you know we'll end up missing you. There'll be a hole in the server for a while because you fill a certain role. But you know what? People are getting banned for a reason. If you think you're hard done by, appeal to Scopely and stick it out. Be a man about it and stand up and take it all on the chin and be light-hearted. We've covered Phil and Kaz and different people getting drained and abused and attacked, and I'd like to see you, Sky, go and take a look in the mirror, reconsider, and come back to us someday. There's no hard feelings on my part, it's all just a game. Weaponising comments, well, you've done that yourself, and guys with ROG and other alliances there have done it too, so it's not all one-sided as you claim here. The entire server, as I have mentioned numerous times, has gone to ugly places. I've repeatedly called for people to wise up and not do this. I put an open letter onto the ceasefire server, and Sky's reaction was to abuse me and take the piss out of me when I was being as sincere and genuine as I could, making an appeal to people not to go to these low levels to undermine and attack each other. But people don't want to listen, they do it anyway, they step over the line, and this is the consequences. So on a serious note, Sky, I'll repeat, we'll miss you. Hopefully you'll go take a look in the mirror, calm yourself down, don't be throwing the bottle out of the pram, and decide you want to come back to us. I'd certainly welcome you back. I don't take it personally and don't take it to heart. Despite the nonsense that I've had to listen to from yourself and others that are your fan club, the group of cheerleaders that like to troll people, I'm not that bothered by yous guys. Yous at least serve as a bad example. So, shin guys, that's it. We'll go back and we'll catch the end of Skywalker's base getting drained. Okay guys, so I'm back, and ROG have been spamming my base while I was out making myself a cup of tea. You can see Savage of Borg, whatever reason he's hitting my station. I'll have to get on to Dark Aston and see why this man is buddying up with ROG. Suzaku, I sure have the kettle on for Suzaku at any time he wants to visit. I always keep a nice packet of biscuits for Suzaku, and Laserdad. Laserdad gets the special biscuits though, you know, because Laserdad's a nice guy and you can have a good chat with Laserdad over a cup of tea, like so. So he's always welcome as well, and you know, these ROG guys, it's all to be expected, but this, whatever this Egypt's at, probably just wants to get on camera. Probably knows I'm recording and thinks that this is going to be his moment in the sun. So there you are, Savage. Another anti-climax though, because you're not actually doing anything with those attacks except trying to make a point. Perhaps making yourself look a little bit silly in the process. But you could jeopardize the relations between Borg and other alliances if you're not careful, lad. Wind your neck in. You see what happens when people start acting the big man and think that they're smart. Start going around breaking alliances and breaking ceasefires and all sorts of things. So Savage want to be a wee bit careful of themselves there, but it's gone quiet here, guys. Let's see what Sky's sitting on. Perhaps he's done. Not done yet. So that's the bubble probably that comes up that allows a wee hiatus after you've been draining a certain amount of time. So that's probably been going on for a guts of 2 hours really there, till that bubble re-emerge. So that's going to go in a couple of minutes. In the meantime, we'll speed this up.
This is the end.
Okay guys, so the bubble is down, and this man's still sitting on over 300, nearly 400 million dilithium, 50 million titanium, 11 million power steel. So we'll film this until the titanium's gone anyway. That miner of Chars there is taking an awful lot out. Health is probably the same, so make me too long left. Now, I put out an invitation to a number of people on my Discord and on the HOM Discord and on the Ceasefire Discord to the ROG guys. I can't be fairer than that, guys, to invite a ROG member or one of their friendlies to come in here and co-commentate on this and give their views before it finishes up. I'm going to set this to a premiere once I have it edited, and you guys over the weekend can sit back and watch it at your leisure. We'll set it as a premiere just so that people can get into the chat function and engage that way if you've missed it, or indeed if you have a comment to make on some of the statements I've made, some of the observations I've brought to you. Come into the chat, dispute it if you like, argue the toss, just keep it civil, guys. And remember that there's people from a bunch of other servers watching this. They have no knowledge other than what they see in the videos of what's actually going down between a lot of these characters. So keep it civil and keep it educational and explain to people what's going on and why. I'll have people there to moderate. I always hope that they have nothing to do and that they're bored. So a litany of attacks there. We said about Savage there. No call for it. Jeopardizing the Borg relationship. Laser sent me a private message saying it meant to be a realtor. That's all cool, lad. It's not me repairing that Saladin. Throw whatever you want at it. I'll not be complaining. You're getting nothing out of me. See, Melio has joined the fight. Hitting Jamaican me Sith. I think that's Econ. Like, with a name like that, like, Econ's a funny guy, he's got a good sense of humour. People pick him up wrong sometimes, I think. And he can be feisty enough. As I've mentioned a number of times, myself and Econ clashed a number of times in global chat. But all friendly now. And I can appreciate the guy's sense of humour, and that's what I was expressing with Skywalker there. Nobody in my book is beyond redemption. People wind their necks in, cop themselves on, and have a bit of respect and a bit of manners. I'll get on with them, no problem. The only people that I have an issue with are the people that act like idiots, and I'll call it, guys. As you well know at this stage, any bullying nonsense I'll carry on like that there. If I see it, doesn't matter what side you're on, if I see it in HOM too, I'll call it there too, and the HOM guys know that only too well. The reality is, I'm not on the receiving end of the HOM nonsense. I'm on the receiving end more often than not of ROG, Sith and anybody else, even Borg, Savage Garden getting in on the act. Sometimes it's for attention, sometimes it's because they're misled by ROG propaganda, which powerful enough propaganda machine that just hasn't gone to the YouTube platform And as I've said in previous videos, I encourage them guys to get the equipment out and do a bit of recording themselves and be the counterbalance, make the counterpoints to what I say. No problem. Melio getting stuck into psychosis there with his realtor. There's laser out in his realtor. That for a second. We'll try and take out some of these realtors that are prowling about. Well, there's a screamer. Let's go for him. Not with that.
I'm gonna make you stand and deliver, and give me love in the old-fashioned way.
It's Char with his Enterprise out. Sitting at 1.69 million. I'm pretty sure I've seen that ship sitting at 1.8 million, so that's presumably that officer configuration. It's causing that to be about 100k thereabouts under its full strength. D-Train may or may not catch me here. Just ever so slightly too late. What's he sitting on? 513k Centurion. Now let's go realtor hunting again. There's Laser Dad out in his realtor. Let's go down here and take that out. See how quick he is getting away. Just dilly-dallied that little bit too long there. What's that Saladin on? 837k. Nice ship, guys. This is probably where you want your Saladin to be at. It's a good example of it. I'll try and get a scan on that ship now in a second, see what officers he's using. Where are you, Hilts? So we'll throw the rail to Adam anyway, just to let him know we're watching. Okay, so that the lithium's getting eaten into. Let's see what's sitting in the collectors. We can let that ship just sit there. No hurry for using it. We will, however, get these defences back up and running. 10k titanium less, in fact. go with the Kara. And let me see if I can remember who the officers are that speeds that Kara up. Been a long time since I used some of these early officers. Was it this guy? No, he's a battleship. Increases the weapon damage. We'll stick them on anyway. We'll fix this as well. No. Energy weapons. Is it Claw? Critical strike, hot pursuit. Yep, that's the one we want. Claw on there. I'm sure we'll put a morale on as well for a laugh. We'll go with that. And we'll sneak down here. See if anybody spots us. And we'll play about with this Kara, see if we can outrun. A little bit of baseball, run from base to base, try to get home. I've heard a comment recently that some of these chests rewards have improved. You guys noticed that? If so, leave a comment, guys. Okay, so a screamer's up here. I see the old VOC. I haven't seen VOC tags in a long time. That's the old Veil of Cthulhu tags. Veil of Cthulhu were Hom's predecessor. So that's clearly somebody who's in the know about the history of the game. Now here's Melio coming down. Try to get me. And Say has got him. Lovely work, Say.
Going gets tough. When the going gets rough.
Tag team job going on there. Fair play. 1.2 million barrel. Nice ship. Let's see if we can lure some of these guys around, see if we can get the Alkera, brush off some of its cobwebs. So Fairfox and Melio, he's throwing them ships like the Billio there. No bother to him. Uncle Buck at the same thing. So fair play to the lads for weighing in. This is no small deal on the Founder server, guys. This will, I'm pretty certain this will change the dynamic on the server. The spark getting stuck in there. So Melio's bouncing his rail off my Kara there. Save me having to go and find him. Thank you very much, Melio. Okay, so Hiltz is in hot pursuit there, and he withdrew.
Can I touch you? Can I touch you? And do the things that lovers do.
Okay, so too slow for D-Train there. We'll get this Kara back out. And of course that I'll bug there that displays that you have enough resources when you don't. In fact, let's hope this is enough. Otherwise we'll have to retire the carrot for a bit. I don't want to be opening up the tokens in a risky situation like this where my resources could be stolen. I might take 5k from the factions though. That'll do. Okay, let's get this baby back out. Oh, it must be the titanium we're short. Let's see. And again, don't want to be opening a million titanium there for that. Okie doke. Let's see what Sky has left here. $25 million tri, 300, little over 300 million dilithium. Okay. Give Uncle Buck a wee tap. Might pop up here because Melio and Buck are coming from up here, so this might be a safer spot to intercept them guys. And get this Realta done, and Suzaku coming after the base there as well, and we'll go after D-Train. Somebody get in there before me. Who's here? Mighty Mouse.
Can I touch you? Can I touch you? And do the things that lovers do.
just have to be a wee bit more careful with this Kara. See, Laser Dad is hovering there. Okay, he's way after somebody else, is he? So Uncle Buck's on his way somewhere. Get this Kara in first, do a little bit extra damage to him. Now I generally like to save my tokens, guys, for the ship upgrades. And this is quite a big occasion on the Founder server, like I say. So, well worth it. But I'll be wrapping up now very shortly. I was at my child's school barbecue this morning, and I got word about this, so when that wrapped up I came straight home, set up OBS and BlueStacks and got recording, but it's time to do the school run very shortly, so I'll have to move. So it's been a blast, guys. As always, it's high level base raiding from the Founder server. See, Jamaican me Sith just took out Laser Dad there. GT out in his Burrell. What are we sitting on? Yeah, almost 1 million. Nice ship. Not as nice as Psychosis, 1.2 million, but still a nice ship. Oh, I see Laser Dad's base there. Let's give him a wee tap.
Ooh, can I touch you? Can I touch you? And do the things that lovers do.
Let's tap Laser Dad again with this ship. We're not getting any battle animation there, but the ship's certainly getting destroyed. And there's Suzaku. We'll give him a wee tap before we finish up too. And again, no battle animation against that station. So the final offerings, guys, up here, we side battles going on. Apologies if I've missed anything interesting in terms of other side battles that have been going on. But this is coming towards its conclusion. Still a wee bit of dilithium there to go, but my time's limited here now today, so unless something wild exciting happens in the next couple of moments, we'll be leaving it at that. I'm pretty certain, guys, that there's plenty of these ROG lads that privately, they may not admit it, but privately they're only too happy to take these resources. These feeding frenzies are ruthless. And there's, some of you might have heard that rumbling, there's my notifications coming in late that my station's been attacked. It's supposed to have been fixed. It's not. And you have to give it to the likes of Char and Hiltseer and GT even, maybe. These guys are persistent. They're big drainers in this server. I've brought you a couple of videos here of this high level base raiding, and these guys are more often than not involved in it. Along with the likes of Phil and Sai here. Arguably Econ there as well, but certainly Phil and Sai. Now, we haven't seen Amorgin or some of the other drainage experts turn up. But again, this is in the middle of the day for the Irish lads. Evening time, night time for the Aussies. So it's perfect time for these guys. Half of them might even be drunk. I think I've seen Char's ship take a wee bit of a wobble there. Might have to send in this realtor and breathalyze him. Now we'll breathalyze him at the helm of this Enterprise, because he's not driving very straight. When he gets married, that'll all have to change. You get the child seat at the back of the car, Char, and there'll be no more roaming around in the galaxy with the helm of that Enterprise with a beer in your hand, man. Learn how to fit them child seats. You'll be trading in the Enterprise for a big old 7-seater.
I'm gonna make you stand and deliver, and give me love in the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, definitely drinking and driving in that Enterprise. Long day in the office, come home, crack out the big ship, crack open a beer. After an hour or two of this, sure the guys will be more than happy, crack open a beer or some kind of refreshments. And this could go on for an hour or so yet. But once it gets down to the dilithium, it's nearing its end. It's not showing there. I'm probably clicked on the wrong target. Yeah, I'm looking at Mighty's Burrell. There we are. So we're down to 17 million try. The ratios of resources that come out remain the same, so there'll be much more dilithium coming out there with a small amount of titanium and a small amount of power steel. So that's them down to the guts now. there'll be little else except more of this repetitive behaviour. And apologies guys if I miss out on any interest in battles. I see something's after going down there. GT and Econ had a wee tussle. So yeah, apologies if I miss any of that stuff guys. I'm going to have to run. I'm going to set this to Premiere. And like I say, come in and chat. Don't take it too seriously. Commiserate with Sky and Sith on their loss. Congratulate ROG on a very efficient cannibalizing exercise. They defended this space well. Handful of guys broke through, like say in there, and you'd expect that from these high level players. Very experienced, very clever players. And let's hope we can look forward to more content in this game where it's not a result of players being banned or players quitting or any of that kind of stuff, that we can have PvP sort of activity like this where we can take each other on and kick a bit of ass with each other, and even if it is real to wars guys, it can be entertaining at times. So we'd hope Scopely will give us some sort of PvP that we can do this kind of stuff on a regular basis. Let loose on each other and perhaps redirecting and channeling the negative vibes into events might allow us to have a little bit of common sense and a little bit of peace on the server during mining events and things like this. So that's it from me guys. The sky has fallen. Chicken Licken and his friends were right. The sky has finally fallen. A big day for those who were harassed by Skywalker. A big day in the sense that there'll be feelings there that this is karma coming back. This is much deserved. We've seen from his messages earlier that he takes some responsibility for his actions, but blaming others, blaming the people that he expressly intended that he wanted to destroy. I suppose that's to be expected. Sour grapes. But maybe he'll reconsider, grow a pair and grow up, come back, be a man about it, as others have been. Talk to Phil, see how Phil felt after he was drained. Pretty sure Phil will give you the benefit of his advice, Sky. He's been around a long time. He's been playing this game, probably got twice the amount of hours put into this game that you have, twice the amount of resources. Don't be afraid to reach out to him. He's a moderator for Scopely, an official moderator. Talk to him. Let him know how you feel. I'm sure Phil wouldn't mind. So, we hope to someday see you in the future, Sky. A happy day for those that suffered at Sky's hands. But probably a sad day for ROG and Sith, losing one of their most active and impressive players. Sky knows how to play this game. He knows about his officer setups and he knows about his ships and all of that. So a loss not only to ROG but a loss to the server. And we'll see all these guys in action again very soon, I'm sure. It could be a Hum base, it could be a ROG base, or as we've seen in the past, it could be somebody else's base that both ROG and Hum get stuck into together. That remains to be seen. So until the next time guys, look up, Make sure the sky's not falling where you are. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Keep it lighthearted, guys, it's only a game. Reach out to the community if you're finding some sort of difficulty, especially if it's related to playing this game. And a shout out to all of you guys that have provided all these people with entertainment once again, and some examples of fine high level ships and how to defend a base or attack a base. And until the next time, I'll catch all of you guys in a future video. Cheers.